There's a mysterious hole atop the Sphinx's head, its purpose unknown to this day. In the 16th century, a vagrant entered this hole. When he spoke inside, it seemed as if the entire statue was talking. Many inscriptions suggest the statue's head once wore a crown. Was this hole meant to secure a crown? 1826, the hole was sealed with an iron plate. But why cover it? Rumor has it those who spoke in the cave fell gravely ill after exiting. The Sphinx was almost entirely covered by sand. While clearing the sand, they unexpectedly found a secret tunnel. Fearing strange illnesses, they avoided entering. They sealed the entrance with stones again. In the blink of an eye, 50 years passed. This incident was forgotten by people. But in 1980, the hole was reopened. Some thought it was dug by treasure hunters. However, the digging stopped halfway through. The diggers never imagined what lay deeper. Just 2 meters deeper, endless riches might await. Earthquake scans revealed something intriguing. 2 large holes lie beneath the Sphinx. Their area is comparable to a football field. They're just 5 meters below the Sphinx. Countless gold artifacts might be stored there. If the diggers knew this result, they'd likely be green with envy. All in all, the Sphinx is a truly remarkable structure. According to some researchers, its head might have originally been a lion's, not the human head we see today. Geologist Connie discovered that the Sphinx's body is much older than its head. This suggests the human face was added later. Connie's theory has some merit, as the head and body are disproportionate. He believes it was originally a large lion head, as lions symbolized strength to ancient Egyptians. Scientists tried to recreate the original Sphinx, but found it impossible with current technology. Secret passages are a hallmark of Egyptian pyramids. Modern humans now have advanced technology, tools capable of finding hidden spaces in pyramids. In 2016, an international science team discovered a hidden space in the pyramid. It's about 30 meters long. Its purpose remains unclear. Could it be a storage area for artifacts? Or perhaps it's a corridor? Or maybe a hall for worship? It could be an unintended space, but more likely it serves an engineering purpose. For instance, does it act as a counterweight? We hope future technology advances will let us see inside these stones. Memphis Serapeum was a cattle cemetery. Around 1400 BC, at least 60 cows were buried there. These old cows' coffins are still there. Coffins were incredibly heavy. Each one weighs about 70 tons. I must say, these cows had quite luxurious afterlives. When these cows died, people would eat part of them. The rest was mummified and then permanently buried. This practice continued until 30 BC, when Romans entered Egypt. These activities then stopped. When the Serapeum was rediscovered, it became an archaeological wonder. It sparked many strange theories. Some thought the coffins were for giants, as Egyptians wouldn't do this for cows, but evidence shows these coffins were indeed for cattle. Ancient Egyptians highly valued animals. Archaeologists in Bubastis found a cat cemetery, said to be sacred to goddess Batet. They uncovered countless cats, likely sacrificed to the goddess. Thousands of cat mummies, wrapped in linen, with images of Bastet's father. North of Bubastis was Obiang, home to Anubis' jackal-headed temple. Millions of dogs were buried there. Ancient people were skilled at mummification. They also found eagle mummies, crocodiles, snakes, and ibises too. Did they mummify every animal? Was some mummified while alive? Glad I wasn't born in ancient Egypt. But not all animals were mummified. No pig or hippo mummies found. These mummies are highly valued, so real mummies are very expensive. That's all for now. In fact, some people have made fakes. When researchers X-rayed the mummies, one of 3 was fake. In an ancient Egyptian tomb, scientists found amazing meteorite bracelets. They're 51,000 years old, found 70 kilometers south of Cairo in 1911. This shows Egyptians used iron before the Iron Age began. Why say these metals are from meteorites? The bracelets contain nickel, typical of meteorite iron, not an alloy. Researchers say the beads have a unique, rare crystal structure. Egyptians used them as burial objects. For us, iron's common. For ancient Egyptians, sky metal was special. Tutankhamun's iron dagger shows they extracted metal from meteorites. Until centuries BC, people thought ancient Egypt wasn't skilled with iron, as archaeological evidence showed iron was less common in the Nile region compared to other materials. Iron was scarcer than gold when Tutankhamun died. Getting iron needed lots of labor and complex tools. These were clearly scarce in ancient Egypt, despite rich iron ore deposits in Egypt. And nearby, records show Egyptians knew of this metal early on, but they used iron ore as makeup pigment, not for making weapons. Experts found Tutankhamun's dagger was mostly meteorite iron, not ore. I guess sky metal had higher status, fitting for a pharaoh's dagger. Speaking of Tutankhamun, you may have heard of his golden death mask. It's considered one of ancient Egypt's most iconic symbols. Its tomb was discovered in 1922, well preserved and untouched by thieves. 6 chariots were found in Tutankhamun's tomb, comparable to ancient Ferraris, representing the era's peak technology. These chariots had real tires made of flexible wood with 6-spoke wheels, effectively absorbing shocks on rough terrain. Did this inspire Mothra? Car suspension systems. This 3,300-year-old technology produced chariots sturdier than modern aircraft structures. In Egypt's rugged terrain, these chariots could reach 40 kilometers per inch and were easy to control, making them fun to ride. In Egypt, they were both transportation and deadly weapons, necessitating mass production. Ramses II established a workshop similar to a modern tank factory. The first car assembly line was used in Ford's factory in 1913, but Egyptians were far ahead of us. Vehicle parts were sent to different workshops, then assembled into complete chariots by workers. During this pharaoh's reign, history's largest chariot battle occurred, the Battle of Kadesh. About chariots participated, impossible without ancient factories. What other technologies did ancient Egypt have? For instance, creating exquisite nail art. Archaeologist Luxor found a thumbnail in a tomb. This nail belonged to a woman's remains, possibly the oldest nail art ever discovered. Research suggests it belonged to a priest's daughter, its quality indicating high status. Through scientific examination, scientists dated the nail to over 1,000 years ago. The craftsman must have known human physiology well. The owner of this nail likely died between 50 and 60 years old. At some point in the past, one of his toes was amputated. The missing toe may have embarrassed him, so the nail might have helped him overcome this. Overall, ancient Egyptians excelled in medicine. But could one of their most mysterious inventions be the light bulb? This sounds a bit far-fetched, but it's actually called the Dendera lamp, depicted in reliefs at Egypt's Dendera Temple. These reliefs represent an Egyptian creation myth, essentially showing a snake born from a lotus flower. Another interpretation suggests the reliefs depict an ancient electric lighting system, which indeed resembles a giant light bulb with no soot deposits on the wooden chamber walls. Unfortunately, despite their advanced technology, Egyptians didn't have time to invent electricity. If they had truly invented it, archaeologists would find glass, filaments, and other essentials without which a light bulb couldn't function properly.